could go second in the ladder tonight if results go their way. Oldham, from just the other side of the hill, provide the opposition at Thrum Hall. Here are the teams. Full-backs, Steve Hampson has a broken arm, so Graham Hallis replaces him. It's the Australian Wally Gibson for Oldham. Wings, former England Rugby Union internationals John Bentley and Nigel Heslop. Mark Preston, one of the best never to be capped, and Scott Ranson. New Zealander John Schuster's in the centre, and it's Sean Irwin. Richard Smith and Oldham's leading try-scorer Darren Abram. Stand-off, Australian Michael Hagan and goal kicker Paul Topping. At scrum half, it's Wayne Parker, 9 seasons at Hulkingston Rovers before his summer move, and Martin Crompton. Up front, Paul Moriarty returns after last week's international against Australia for Wales, and Ian Sherratt on his 100th club appearance. Much-travelled John Fieldhouse once with Oldham and Kiwi Jason Timu. The hookers Roy Southernwood, a former under-21 captain, and John Clark just named at that level for next week against Australia. Second rows, Simon Baldwin is on loan from Lee, Steve Sims' former club, and former Halifax favourite Gary Lord. It's another Welsh international, Mark Perrott, also back from Cardiff, and Kiwi Joe for Milo. Loose forwards, Gary Devorty and Mike Kuwaiti, and the coaches, the Australian Steve Sims and former Great Britain captain Andy Goodway. Match referee is John Connolly, the man who was in charge of Wales against Australia last Sunday on Sky. And this important match for Halifax and indeed for Oldham gets underway. Early touch for the fullback, Graham Hallis, who's standing in for... Oh, it's not Graham Hallis, it's Mark Perrott, the Welsh international. But Graham Hallis is the fullback for Halifax.
Good tackle there from the prop forward, Ian Sherratt. Oldham certainly coming out with a bit of vim and vigour there, but you see a man not standing square. Second marker, well offside. Penalty to Halifax.
Quick check on the substitutes. Halifax have got Grant Anderson and Michael Jackson on the bench. It's David Jones and Paul Norman on his debut for Oldham. Here comes Fieldhouse for Halifax. He's grounded on halfway. Mike Kuwaiti in there, so too Ian Sherratt. Southern with the dummy half, and Paul Moriarty playing today at prop forward. Carl Harrison of Halifax can't back up after the second test defeat yesterday. That's Simon Baldwin, the young man brought from Lee by Halifax coach Steve Sims, who of course was in charge at Hilton Park last season. Little untidy, the ball went backwards though, and Baldwin was able to retain possession for Halifax. This now Southernwood.
Good run from the hooker there. Wasn't the best pass though from Wayne Parker. A little bit of misunderstanding there.
Parker will hoist the high kick. This is a tester for Wally Gibson and company. Gibson loses the ball.
Well, he lost sight of it, didn't it? There was the prop forward, Paul Moriarty. He did very well.
Big pressure on this Oldham line by Hagan and now by Fieldhouse, formerly with Oldham. And the high tackle came in from Jason Timu.
Didn't miss him as well. Timu there went right over the top. Fieldhouse felt it. Contact to the shoulder on the way through, took most of the impact away. Seen very quickly by the referee, John Connolly. Stelling. There's a big guy, Timu.
Jason Timu, whose fiancée Rachel and also Joe Familo's fiancée Alana came to see us before the match. They know that this game is going to viewers on Sky in New Zealand, and they want everyone to know down there that they're enjoying life in Oldham and that they're in fine fettle. But Jason Timu will not be enjoying that particular moment. A high tackle on John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse eyeballed him. Referee John Connolly called the two of them together. The big Kiwi and the former Great Britain international told them to cool it down. So John Schuster then with the first penalty attempt of this match. Schuster in great form. The game's leading point scorer, 124 points so far this season, and that now makes him 126 points for the season, 45 goals, and Halifax 2-0 ahead. Good start for the men from Thrum Hall, the home side defending this run of 6 successive league victories, 5 of them under Steve Sims, since he took over from Malcolm Reilly, who's now down under in Australia, preparing for the new season with Newcastle Knights.
And talking of coaches, the Oldham coach, Andy Goodway, wouldn't be happy with the lack of discipline. Oldham had Halifax under pressure on their own line, gave away 2 penalties, and allowed Halifax to take the lead with that shot right in front.
John Bentley drives Halifax up to the quarter line. The zone of the pitch, according to Australian coach Bob Fulton, after yesterday's test match, that is the red zone. The red zone for Halifax. Moriarty trying to drive them out of the red zone and gets over the 30-metre mark. This is Devorty with the run. Good tackling from Oldham. Talking to the Oldham coach, Andy Goodway, by the way, before this match, he was pretty confident today that Oldham would come up with a win, and kicking like that from Wayne Parker will certainly not help the Halifax cause.
Not the best kick from the little halfback. One bad pass and one bad kick. Didn't want to get on with things. Claiming to the referee, John Connolly, he thought that a hand had got to it. Wasn't going to have anything of that, was the merry whistleblower, Connolly. Oldham feed.
Fed by Crompton, he gets it out to Topping. Topping and Abram working a quick 1-2, and that's Scott Ranson. For the first time really in this match, and it's about 5 minutes old, that Oldham have had the chance to attack up the hill here at Thrum Hall. Topping trying to milk that penalty from Moriarty, but the referee, John Connolly, having none of it. That's a good drive in turn then from Timu. John Clark in the under-21 squad is behind him, the dummy half, and going on his own. That's a neat bit of play, attacking the blind side. And look at the overwhelming possession that Halifax are enjoying already, but the match barely 5.5 minutes old.
Good play from the fullback, Wally Gibson, chiming into the 3-quarter line. He's got plenty of speed.
Testing kick from Crompton. Wayne Parker drops it, and Oldham get it back. Well, that's one each in that department at either end.
Well, you can see that the fullback, Graham Hallis, couldn't get through. Heavy traffic out there.
Here's Joe Familo. Flattered there by Fieldhouse and by Mark Perrott. Topping. Good ball from Irwin that was, but the referee has penalised Oldham for the use of the elbow here.
You can see the left arm coming out very quickly indeed. Wasn't going to miss that, wasn't the referee. John Connolly, big second rower. He really did lift the arm, did Gary Lord. Former Halifax player, of course. He'll have plenty to prove today.
Good play from John Fieldhouse, kept the ball alive to Southernwood. Southernwood gets over the halfway line. Parker, and here's Perrott. Welsh international spins away from that tackle, but Gary Lord doing well on that occasion. Southernwood to Devorty. And the second rower, Simon Baldwin, loses the ball. Wally Gibson picks up the pieces for Oldham.
Bad mistake from the second rower, Baldwin. Bit of nerves there, miles offside. Parker and Schuster. Quick off the mark, but not as quick as the referee, John Connolly. There you could see the pointed finger. Get back, boys.
Got to stand back 10 yards, the defending side. It was obvious that they did not do that. And here's a good drive towards the line from Timu, and he was almost through. Those three really having to work hard. 4 of them it was indeed. Hagan disappearing underneath the big Kiwi. Here's Topping now, trying to go round Parker, but Parker held on to him, and Southernwood completed the tackle.
Good run from the prop forward, Timu, though. Halifax defence just stood there and watched him come at him.
Here's Kuiti, keeps the ball alive. Farmilo. Halifax stand firm 10 metres from their own line. John Clark, the dummy half, to Martin Crompton, the scrum half. Here's Gary Lord on familiar territory, as Steve-O says, former Halifax player, Lord. Clark again, and Crompton dabs it diagonally towards the post. That's good play, and so close. Darren Abram thought he got the touch.
He did get the touch. He's deemed to have knocked on. Beautiful kick here, and what on earth was the little halfback Wayne Parker doing there? He allowed the centre to come right through, only inches in it. He did get a touch to it. Beautiful little kick through.
Bounce ball, the decision, and my word, that was a close thing for Halifax.
There's a beautiful kick through from Martin Crompton. Planned move. But dearie me, Wayne Parker didn't want to forget that one. Nearly got caught there.
Moriarty is tackled, standing up. There it is again, a definite bounce ball. Good decision from John Connolly. Ball inside to Baldwin from Southernwood. Southernwood goes into dummy half, and this the last tackle for Halifax. Parker to Hagan. Hagan feeds the ball out wide to Bentley. Oldham thought they were going to kick, and Bentley decides to run it. He's got support inside him. Great tackle though from Wally Gibson. The support was streaming up, and Fieldhouse wanted the pass inside.
Good play from Halifax there. Oldham expected the kick deep. It was on the last tackle. Long ball out wide, and there's none better than John Bentley. Give him half a chance. He really has got plenty of speed.
It was a great run from Bentley.
He'll be looking for a big game as well, will John Bentley. Remember, the third test, Ellen Road, that's coming up in a fortnight's time. Big game here from the winger. Could help his cause.
Could indeed, and of course, John Bentley is Steve-O's Player of the Week on Boots and All this week on Tuesday. Tuesday night for Boots and All and the John Bentley feature. And this week, by the way, the programme will be coming from Gay Paris. We'll tell you more about that, of course, on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Mistake by Hallis, but Oldham are all offside. They're inside the 10 here.
Well, it was an awful mistake from Hallis. But he gets away with it with the fact that the referee, John Connolly, had already told the players, you've got to give him 10, keep away. As soon as he touched it there, those two men at the side of Hallis are definitely offside. Good refereeing.
Here now Perrott for Halifax. Good tackle in the end from the Hooker Clark and Ian Sherratt. Parker to Hagan. Michael Hagan, the Australian.
Oldham's defence coming up very quickly. Umbrella, especially the centres out wide. They're forcing Halifax down the middle of the park.
Moriarty with the drive into the danger zone, the Oldham red zone, to quote Bobby Fulton. Parker to Fieldhouse, head down, support arrives then. That's a great tackle again from Gibson. It was on Simon Baldwin, but then Gibson makes a meal of it, the professional foul, and Gibson's in the bin.
He had to go, there was never any doubt. He held the man down after a wonderful tackle. Just lost the marble slightly there. Martin Crompton having a few words to the referee John Connolly, but there was little doubt that Connolly could do. It was a great tackle, wasn't he, on the second row of Baldwin. But there you see it, not only once but twice, even when he got to his feet. He dragged the second rower down and see him looking in despair at John Connolly. You could already see Connolly was dipping into the pocket. A little yellow number came out. Always nice to see that. 10 minutes for the professional foul.
Gibson then in the sin bin, and Oldham will remember that on day one of the season they had 2 players put in the sin bin against Halifax at Watersheddings. So that's 3 in the bin in a match in August, and just 12.5 minutes here. Schuster makes no mistake from that sort of range. Second successful kick from the New Zealand centre, 4-0 Halifax.
Well, they'll be quite happy to just keep coming up the park, coming away with the 2 points. Second occasion, that silly penalty right in front. Another gift too for the Halifax side.
And the Amigo Topo restarts. By the way, people will be wondering what on earth we're doing in Paris for Boots and All on Tuesday night, I'm sure. And the reason being there is a major news conference that has been called for Paris tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and Steve-O and myself will be there to bring you all the news. It should be quite an exciting development too. And this is Richard Smith. First time we've seen Richard Smith try against the Kangaroos. The match here at Thrumhall, the one blot on Steve Simms's record since he arrived in this particular part of West Yorkshire. But they gave a very good account of themselves, did Halifax. And Steve-o, they are, without doubt, the form team at the moment in the big league.
Yes, they have been firing. A lot of enthusiasm shown there, but they'll have to change the tactics, I feel, Halifax. They've been pushed down the centre again. You can see Oldham moving up extremely quickly, and that's the sort of tactics they need. The kick downfield, put the pressure. It's a little bit too long there.
Only an ounce in it, really. If that would have been just a little bit lighter, that kick, it would have meant that Topping would have had to run it out. As it is, they can restart with the tap on the 20-metre zone. Crompton is the dummy half, and he's scampering away from there, despite the fact that Lord was on his inside and calling for the ball. John Clark in behind him. Now he is Team U. Remember, Oldham down to 12 men for 10 minutes with Wally Gibson, their fullback, in the sin bin. Ian Sherratt with this drive up to the chest of Devorty. Tackling by Richard Smith also.
Strong forward, isn't he, Ian Sherratt there? You could see he was trying to twist out of the tackle, look for the support. Always on the lookout to try to get that ball away.
Sean Irwin picks himself up, plays the ball to Clark, and here's Crompton. Crompton dinks one over the top, settles for the territory. Ball finds touch.
Good vision there from Martin Crompton. Came on the blind side, kicked right into the corner. They're hoping for the mistake, of course, now. He really does have great vision. Crompton, a schemer of the highest quality. Super kick.
So Crompton will defend this scrum feed by Wayne Parker. Parker does well, makes good ground, makes great ground. He has support from Hagan. Preston is there. Preston all wrapped up by the tackling of Scott Ransom. Did a good job then on his opposite number. But, oh, that was forward from Parker to Smith.
Did well there, did the scrambling defence from Oldham. Got back extremely quickly, but what a great run from Wayne Parker. Ducked under a swinging arm from the scrum win. Away he went.
Parker again. Hagan. Oh, that's great play. Moriarty hit that at pace. Kept the movement going. Lovely control. Schuster ball inside from Smith, and Schuster over. That's wonderful play from Richard Smith. And great support play from Schuster. 8 for Halifax. 8 points for Schuster.
Beautiful play from Halifax. Got the ball out wide. Was Hagan. Sent the big fella through the gap. Moriarty got the ball away really well. Didn't he do well to centre Smith? As soon as he got control, he flicked the ball up for this guy, John Schuster, in for a wonderful try. But it was Hagan's pass. It was a beautiful delayed number. Look at this. You could see the gap. That's all it needed. And as soon as Smith took control, drew the fullback, acting fullback, because Wally Gibson is off the field. But that is a great try. Well played.
Good stuff from John Schuster. Great play from Richard Smith. Getting a well-deserved round of applause as he jogs back into position, waiting for the kick-off. Richard Smith, the product of the Siddle Amateur Club in Halifax, showing tremendous skill then to keep that ball alive, despite the fact that it appeared at one stage he'd overrun the pass to him. So Schuster with another easy attempt at goal here to convert his own try. 2 goals and a try so far for Halifax, 2 goals and a try for Schuster. Well, that one I do not believe. I think he was a little bit too casual in his approach.
Notice how Hagan has sucked in 2 defenders. Moriarty right through the gap. Superb pass from the Australian. None better than this one from Smith. Just drew Topping. And the New Zealander Schuster in for a great try. Great support play.
Yeah, great support play and good play from Richard Smith. Schuster has scored all the Halifax points. Simon Baldwin with no way through. Southernwood the dummy half. Now here's Hallis. Gets the ball away to Devorty. They keep the ball alive so well. They support the man in possession, who at the moment is Hagan. Here he is again, Smith. Couldn't hang on that time.
Forward pass anyway. Hagan's pass to Smith, just forward. Good recovery though from Nigel Heslop. He came back well. Little doubt it went forward. Good positioning by the referee John Connolly, but it was a beautiful pass from Gary Devorty. The gaps that appearing, I'm afraid, in this Oldham defence is pretty strong for the first 18 minutes.
Playing with the one man down, of course, Wally Gibson. They're a man short. Gibson in the sin bin. They've conceded the try. They will be anxious not to concede anything else before Gibson returns to the fray. He's still got a couple of minutes to go. That's a good run from Familo. It was a good job that Simon Baldwin just tapped his ankle. Down he went. Sherratt now taking on Smith. He really does impress Ian Sherratt every time we see him in Oldham's colours. Big raw bone forward, and that's a huge kick from Crompton. Halifax let it drop, and so Oldham have it back, and that was a Great Britain attempt. Remember what happened yesterday at Old Trafford? They went for Ricky Stewart's bomb.
Don't remind me.
We've not mentioned that yet, Steve-o. 20 minutes, and I think we ought to soon.
Do you have to put me through the pain?
For Milo hanging on for Oldham.
Well, that's got to be a key for this Oldham side. That's the second occasion that Graham Hallis, the acting fullback, and that's a good play.
Tremendous play, rugged forward play from Timu. He left two in his wake. Mark Perrott went down, and so too did Hagan. They just couldn't stop Big Timu, and he looks at them and snarls as he goes past.
Did he ever? Had a few words to say to him, but what a great run. Upper body strength. Look at that. Mark Perrott, he just pulled him and pushed him out of the way like a bowling ball with the skittles. Nice work on the blind side. And the big fella, Grunch, look at that. You can see Perrott go backwards. He's stunned. That is a brilliant try. Talk about running with vim and vigor. Oh! Perrott really felt it. Individual brilliance there from the big prop forward Jason Timu.
Great try. Perrott still hasn't recovered. He's still feeling groggy from trying to halt the marauding Kiwi. But it just shows you what happens when you let a high kick bounce in the danger zone. That's what Britain did against the Aussies yesterday, and Oldham have plainly learnt the lesson because they hoisted the kick. Halifax, they haven't got a recognised fullback. They let it drop too. And Oldham over for the 4, and Topping now trying to improve that and make it 6. Important kick this. Remember, Schuster missed one earlier. This will reduce the arrears to just a couple of points. And that's another awful attempt. This time from Paul Topping. 8-4 though, Halifax ahead.
Seemed to rush that kick there. Paul Topping was not happy with it.
The two that we've seen them miss, Steve-o, Topping and Schuster, they've tried to side foot the ball over.
Yeah, it's all about the follow through.
Looked like a good golf shot.
Well, you'd know.
I don't make many, unfortunately. Hallis restarts. Fumble by Crompton. Referee gives Crompton the benefit of the doubt. Steve-o, 22 minutes have gone. Halifax have made the change. Perrott off, injured. Michael Jackson has come on. Let's talk about Great Britain briefly. It was disappointing, I think, is the kindest thing we can say.
Well, I was calling for new tactics. We really didn't know what was happening out there, did we? We really didn't put any sort of pressure to the Australians. And I think the mere fact that they brought Ricky Stewart into the fold certainly lifted their fortunes. He had a great game, and oh, that's a bad mistake. Won't be happy with that.
Talking about one scrum half, and we watch another scrum half here, Crompton make an awful error.
Yeah, never really had control of that. He was trying to rush the pass away. before he had control. He took his eyes off the football. Well, some elementary mistakes from Oldham, making it an even harder uphill battle for themselves.
Simon Baldwin driving it in, despite the fact that that was another handling error there. The error count only 3 in the opening 24 minutes or so here. Hagan trying to duck under the challenges. Southernwood to Fieldhouse. Spins away from one challenge, but can't get away from the next. From Familo, this is Southernwood. Oh, Jackson. Touch ring rusty maybe, Michael Jackson, the Great Britain international. Didn't have control of that, lost possession.
It's a set move there, applied by Halifax. As you say, perhaps a bit rusty, the substitute, Michael Jackson.
Reason being, Steve-o, he started just 24 games for Wakefield and Halifax here in 2 years. It's a remarkable statistic, that. And he really is one of the brightest, or was at one stage, one of the brightest prospects in the British game.
Yeah, he looked set for a long international career, didn't he? And injuries just started to plague him. Professional footballers do go through that syndrome at times.
Quarter hour left to play, another high kick downfield, and Palace wasn't convinced he was going to get that, so Bentley decided to take the matter into his own hands. He's taking something to bring him down.
It was a confident call as well from the winger, John Bentley.
Here's Schuster. His 8 points now this afternoon, make it 132 this season so far for the New Zealand international. Leading point scorer in the game, Richard Smith, with a good run. 21 years old he is. Just one appearance last season. Moriarty, always willing to carry the battle. It's great to see him back in some sort of form also, Steve-o.
Yeah, he's playing well. I think that perhaps he'll like the prop position. Certainly enjoying the work.
Well, I'll tell you what, we could do with a prop forward or two for the third test at Ellen Road.
Could do with a few more positions as well.
Now Nigel Heslop, he's been quiet so far.
I just get the feeling that Oldham really haven't got into the swing of things yet. They've given away silly penalties and lost possession at vital times. They'd do a lot better to make sure that they play out the full 6, get into some sort of rhythm. Well, they'll be quite happy, I suppose. Only 4 points down. Halifax had most of the play in this first half.
The important thing is for their sakes now, Oldham, at least they are back to full complement. Wally Gibson's back out there. That was a crunching tackle by Fieldhouse, wasn't it? Oh, Scott Ransom felt that. Kuiti. And soccer skills, and he bounced off the chest of Bentley, and he made the play for that. That would be an Oldham head and feed.
Good play by the big forward, Kuiti. Nice little touch over the top. He went to try to get it. As you mentioned to it, this is a tackle. See the shoulder go straight in there. Whoa.
Crossing, obstruction, and Oldham penalised on the first tackle. Their coach Andy Goodway will not be happy with that.
Once again, elementary mistakes, creating a problem there. You could see how Topping made the dash. If to pass the ball, it'd have been all right. Once you go past the line of the obstructor, you give away the penalty.
It's pretty tight, though, in this match. Oldham just 4 points adrift. Whoa, Fieldhouse took a hurler here.
Oh, Mr. Timu.
Here he is again.
And Mr. T of rugby league. Oh, no milk and sugar in that guy.
Jackson, that's a lovely run, and Kuiti just got a hand to his ankle, pulled him down. Southernwood, the dummy half. Parker. Schuster. Gets it to Hagan. Bentley out wide. Good play by Ranson.
Well, will it be deemed that it came off an Oldham player in the end? Bentley did well to keep that ball alive. I think you'll find that it did come off Crompton. That's the ankle tack there that brought Jackson to the ground. Saved the day.
But big pressure again here on the Oldham defence. Baldwin with the drive met by Topping. Here's Smith, always eager for work. The Halifax centre. Parker, Devorty, back to Parker. They switch the direction of the attack with Schuster. Keeps it alive to Hagan, to Hallis. Hallis with a gap ahead of him. And Hallis is surrounded.
Great cover defence from Oldham. Stacks on the mill there. Good play by Ranson, the winger.
Hagan again, ducks under one from Timu, but can't get away from Topping. This is the last tackle for Halifax. Now it's with Parker and Fieldhouse on the charge. It's the last tackle now. I thought, my apologies, that John Connolly had the hand raised. Bentley gets it to Parker and
forward pass. That'll be the handover. There you could see Bentley saying, I couldn't take it. Just in front was Parker on the last tackle. Nice to see the wingman, though, coming in and helping out in the middle there, taking a lot of pressure, especially off the forwards. Well, they've scrambled well, haven't they, Oldham in defence, on the rack a couple of occasions just before the half-time break.
Sherritt with that drive, he puts boot to ball and finds Clark, who finds Crompton, and here now is Joe Familo. Lovely run from Familo. Topping arrives in support, gets away from Hallis, gets the ball to Abram, long pass out wide looking for Ranson, and Ranson looking for the corner. Oh, it's great play! That's wonderful Oldham play. Darren Abram with the try. Support the man with the ball, that's the message, and didn't Oldham do it well?
They don't come any better than this. Familo goes straight through. Beautiful run. Not the best defence, but didn't he do well here? Great support from Paul Topping. Oh, this is superb football. Long ball out wide. Abram out there, and it was a winger Ranson that came back inside, and you'll find the centre supporting. Calls for the ball. Superb pass from the winger back inside to his centre partner. And Darren Abram involved in that movement twice, but look at the determination there. Not the best defence, I'm afraid. Support play was supreme. Abram out wide, not the best pass, but didn't the lad do well? Ranson stepped back inside, and when you back up the man with the ball, you can be rewarded.
And Darren Abram rewarded with his third try in as many matches for Oldham. That's a great try for Oldham, it really was. They just wouldn't let that ball die. And at 8 points all, we have quite a match on our hands here. Topping then with this conversion attempt to give the Lancashire side the lead for the first time. But underneath that somewhat, didn't reach the posts. Level pegging, 8-all.
Support play at its best here. You can see how he's twisting in the tackle to make sure that Topping. This really is a clever try. Abraham on the shoulder. But the most important factor is that Abram still keeps coming across, looking for the chance, gets himself into the position. They don't come any better than that.
So that try from Darren Abram gives us 8 points all. It's his 7th try of the season. And Abram now is the Oldham leading scorer. Only the boot of John Schuster keeping Halifax at level pegging at the moment with Oldham. It's 2 tries to 1 as we go 6.5 minutes away from the interval. Look at the way this fellow really does get the legs pumping and takes them on. Teamew, his terrific run. Now Gary Lord.
Oldham have lifted a gear now. Got the sail behind them. The wind is really pushing them along. And why not? Some good charges from the forwards. At a time where Halifax should have taken control of this game. Remember, Oldham had Wally Gibson off, sin-binned for 10 minutes. And that's when Halifax really should have thrust the knife in. They haven't.
Good defence from Sherratt there, with a bit of help from John Clark. Now here's Michael Jackson. Clark there again with Teamew. Gary Lord's working hard against his former club. Now then Fieldhouse, another man facing former teammates today. That's great play from Fieldhouse. Gets it away to Southernwood. Southernwood won't be denied, but now he is by Kuiti.
Did well there, did the hooker there. Talk about second effort. He was always looking to try to get away. Good thing that Crompton just stuck to him like glue.
Last tackle here for Halifax. Baldwin going down. Hallis there to Parker. He'll hoist the kick. Here's a tester now for Gibson. The big man Moriarty's after him. Oh, and he dropped it, did Gibson, and it bounced off the knees of Moriarty, and Gibson gets out of jail.
A classical case of a man looking at the man coming towards you. Instead of taking the football, he just had a little glimpse. The big Welshman Moriarty was charging through. He knew it as well. You could see him backing off rather than going forward to get the arms to encompass the ball. Bad mistake.
Tell you what, Steve-O, if Moriarty was racing at me, I'd have a look at him too. Schuster drops it. And Devorty thought he was offside then.
Well, a wasted chance from Halifax. First of all, it was Oldham that was going through the elementary mistakes bracket. Now we find Halifax just losing the plot somewhat.
5-1, the handling errors now to Halifax. A disciplined display so far from Oldham, who are in possession again here with Irwin. Gets the ball away for Milo. Crompton and Sherratt, here he comes again. And oh, Fieldhouse stood there and decided he wasn't getting past him on that occasion. But he drags Oldham up to the halfway line. Crompton now topping. Here's Kuiti, quick hands. Nearly came off, play on, says the referee. Branson grounded. That was good play by Schuster. He was finished off by Devorty. The ankle tap again.
Just got to him, didn't it?
Kick sails downfield into the arms eventually of Hallis. Hallis wants to take them on, out wide, and he does, gets through 2. Here's Mark Preston. Preston cutting inside Gibson. He's got Crompton and he's turned him inside out. Brilliant. Mark Preston, a brilliant try. I don't know what this fella has to do to win recognition internationally, but this was great.
Brilliant try, came out of nothing. A good run from Graham Hallis to full back. Look at the strength there as he steps it. Perfect timing. Came across, drew topping, in and out. But this is the beauty of it. Look how he just shimmies. Poor Crompton, which way's he gone? Far too late. Mark Preston, a beautiful try. But full credit to the fullback Hallis. Determination. See the little goose step there. It attracted topping. Look at the mind ticking over. He knows exactly what's happening. Little shimmy. Oh, Crompton didn't know where he was going. The smile says it all.
Well, he began the season in electrifying form with 7 tries in the first 7, including 1 against Oldham. Well done, Graham Hallis, with that run. The first time, really, he's taken this Oldham defence on and skinned them out wide, and he created the chance for Preston. And Preston remains the best winger in Great Britain never to be capped for his country. Schuster, this time, makes no mistake. And Halifax hit the front again. 14-8.
The kick is as only as good as the chase. You can see how far they were behind it. That was the reason why Hallis had enough time to gain the momentum and the speed. Look at that. You must force your men into the corner, and they allowed Hallis the room to move. And when you've got a guy like this on the run, in and out, but watch him turn Crompton inside out here. He knew it was too late, and that was a great try.
Michael Jackson running the ball back up towards the quarter line. Mark Preston's 9th try of the season. He had 104 games for Wigan in his career, and he scored 76 tries for the Central Park side, did Mark Preston. Fell out of favour a bit, then came here to Halifax, and the tries have kept on flowing. Steve O'Hee remains, as I say, the best uncapped winger in the country.
Yeah, they've certainly got some strike power, haven't they, Halifax, in Bentley and Preston. And the way that I've seen this Richard Smith, the youngster, has impressed me. He's quite good, he runs hard. Things are looking very good at Halifax.
Well, if results go for them today, they could end up second tonight. Some interesting matches being played around the country today. Don't forget, at the end of this game, all the tries from all the First Division games played this afternoon. A unique roundup of big league highlights for you following this match here at Thrum Hall. Hope you're enjoying that new innovation to our coverage this season. Really is good to see all the tries scored on a Sunday night, isn't it? And we've seen a couple of cracking tries scored here this afternoon already. Clark with this run, impressed by this young man too. John Clark toured Australia with the amateur tourists in 1993. Set for a chance to take on the big boys at Gateshead next week. The kick downfield finds touch from Crompton. Doesn't matter, because there's the half-time siren, and Halifax have a 14-point-8 lead. Preston and Hallis, the two men who combined to get that great try. It has been a half of curate's egg proportions for Wally Gibson. We go in the second half of this Stonesborough Championship match at Thrum Hall and Oldham. Their last win here was December 1988, the year in which Halifax were relegated under Ross Strudwick as the coach. And they have it all to do in this second half to try and improve on that record. And immediately they get a penalty from referee John Connolly.
Nigel Heslop definitely had the ball pinched there.
So Oldham now in the Halifax half of the field, and here comes Tinu again. And at half-time, Halifax have made the change. Simon Baldwin's gone off, and Mark Perrott, who disappeared under the boots of Jason Timu in one of his runs in the first half, has returned to the fray. Oldham trying to keep this ball alive. Here comes Sherritt, hopping his way another 5 or 6 metres, despite the attention from Schuster and from Perrott. Now Wally Gibson. Lovely crisp afternoon here in Halifax. Conditions perfect for rugby league. For Milo disappearing under that challenge. They are 30 metres from the Halifax posts are Oldham, in possession with Kuiti. And Kuiti still going strong despite the fact that Hagan is there and Schuster's there, and Perrott came in eventually with Bentley to haul him down. Here's Topping to Irwin. He was always stretching for that.
Another bad mistake. You could see that he was looking at the tackler rather than taking control of the ball.
Sean Irwin.
Bad mistake there. Certainly wouldn't have pleased their coach Andy Goodway. He would have had plenty to say at the half-time break, I'm sure.
Halifax again willing to keep the ball alive, but not now. Moriarty couldn't get away from the three tacklers who came in to sort him out. Southernwood, Hagan, This is Michael Jackson. Oops, and that's a little high and round the neck from Kuwaiti. Jackson had a sideways glance at referee John Connolly as he went down. Connolly says, play on. Devorty with the drive, met by Gary Lord and Topping.
Interesting, that previous tackle, Gary Lord went to the referee and said that he got an elbow in the mouth. Connolly says, get on with the game.
Here's Parker. Drills one over the top, mistake from Heslop, the knock on. Again, as Irwin just a few moments ago, Heslop was always stretching for that.
Should never really committed himself to go down. Should have allowed the ball to perhaps bounce or get his feet to it. In two minds, former rugby union star Nigel Heslop. Well, that's two bad mistakes early in the second half.
Heslop just shaking the hand there. Looks like he caught that ball on the end of a finger, like a boundary fielder in the Ashes series that's coming up on Sky Sports very shortly. Nice run from Richard Smith. Perrott the dummy half. Parker, Schuster taking over. Diagonal run from Schuster through the gap. Oh, he sliced through them. John Schuster's having a great game, isn't he? The defence just melted away, and Schuster's try, his 11th of this campaign.
Well, he just seemed to skip through to tulips, didn't he? Dear me, they just stood there. Look at this. Who's going to get him? Two halfbacks, Topping and Crompton. Well, they can't believe it. But nice step there from John Schuster. But this was also easy, wasn't it? Reverse pass there from Parker, and Schuster came stepping inside, and well, it was just patty cake, wasn't it? No one made any commitment to try to stop the man. They won't come any easier than that, and the game's leading point scorer continues to go ahead.
Yes, he's having a real field day, isn't he, Schuster? 3 out of 4, and that's 2 tries to him now. And now it's 4 out of 5. Schuster makes no mistake, and Halifax suddenly have a 12-point lead.
There you can see it, there's 2 men going towards him, and they barely laid a finger on him. One went high, the other one just got the fingernails. What an easy 4 points to that man.
So Halifax with this great run behind them, and they are certainly in the driving seat now. Bentley just couldn't get away though from Jason Temu, and he really has looked impressive. Temu in his 5th game for Oldham. He was lucky not to go on the Papua New Guinea tour with the New Zealanders. Came here instead. He had a great season in the New Zealand League, and there he is again. He does get himself involved, the big number 10 for Oldham. Now Jackson. Milo eventually hauls him to ground.
That really was a bitter blow though to Oldham. Just coming back after the break, 2 big mistakes. A lot of pressure on themselves, and then poor tackling allowed John Schuster in for the simplest of tries at a time when Oldham really were looking towards applying the pressure the other way around.
Parker's kick downfield is collected by Gibson, and he is dumped unceremoniously to the ground by Michael Hagan. Heslop rather now trying to make amends for that knock on early on in this second half. Here's Scott Ransom, the other winger for Oldham. An Oldham change, and Jason Temu's gone off to be replaced by Paul Norman on his debut. There he is, number 15.
They see the hooker, John Clark, trying to keep the ball alive. I'm afraid there was little chance, Gary Lord. It was pretty low. He's not happy with it.
Second half has started badly for Oldham. They have made 3 errors in the opening 7 minutes now of this second half, having made just 1 in the entire 40 minutes of the first half. So not the best start to the second half for Oldham. Parker in possession. Here's Fieldhouse on a diagonal run. Taking them on, Sean Irwin and Mike Kuiti, though, standing up to the challenge well. They're certainly playing with a lot of confidence, Halifax, there's no doubt about that. They'd scored 300 points before today already, and that's in a game less than the rest. There's obstruction, though.
Little doubt about it. There you can see Hallis pushing the loose forward. Gary Devotis, get out of the way. There's no way in the world that the Oldham defence could get through to him. A bit of relief now for Oldham.
Well, Halifax beat Oldham 40 points to 20 at the Watersheddings on day one, and they have won their last two at home against Oldham, so it's not really unexpected, but Fieldhouse is going to clout just above the eye there. Now then, what can Ranson do? Taking Bentley on, and Bentley would not let him pass. Clark topping, and here's Heslop. And now the substitute, Norman. Fieldhouse jogging back, he's all right. Gibson, good ball. Clark thought about keeping the ball alive with Schuster all round him. Gibson was there, and Gibson is the dummy half. Crompton dinks one over the top. Parker underneath it, but they're all offside. Oldham, they were ahead of the football when it was kicked.
Darren Abram, the culprit. You can see that they were standing in front. Just a step, but it was enough. Good refereeing by Connolly. He saw it well.
Halifax then on course for a double in the big league against Oldham this season, just as it was last term. Moriarty picks himself up. Southernwood to Fieldhouse, fully recovered from the bang, but there's another bang for him from Ranson and Sherratt, from Norman and Sherratt rather. Now Richard Smith. Hagan on the halfway line. Parker clips one over the top, and that will not find touch. Gibson has to pick it up. That's a good kick in the circumstances. Parker following up, does really well. Great chase.
We keep saying it, don't we? The kick's as only good as the chase, and that chase was superb. Great play by Wayne Parker. Enthusiasm. That really does lift the side. And listen to the crowd. They know that they're on song now.
Trying to get out of the danger zone with Sean Irwin. Topping gets the ball away to Crompton, and Crompton, he really just has to kick downfield to relieve the pressure. Hallis draws gasps from the terraces, but hangs on. Force back, that's good defensive play from Oldham. Bentley. Jackson. Topping, a little short right, was it?
Looked that way. I think he was trying to get at the football. Touch judge was close, so was John Connolly.
Parker divorting, and a header from Fieldhouse. Hit Fieldhouse square on the top of the head, and Gibson gets through his challenge but can't get away from Southernwood.
It was a strong pass as well from Devorty. It was going well out wide. And another mistake.
John Clark loses possession. Here goes Richard Smith.
There you see the impact. Just as he hit the floor. Well, it's been a nightmare start, hasn't it, for Oldham in the second stanza. They really have their tails up now, Halifax. The forwards are running very strong indeed. That'll be a flop by the prop forward, Sherratt. Having none of that, John Connolly, here you see it come. The hooker, sorry, the prop forward. The hooker, John Clark, and the culprit. Just a few words, John Connolly to Paul Topping as well. A few words were spoken.
I think it was about that little right-hand jab that we saw a few moments ago. Just letting Topping know that very little has got past him today, John Connolly. Eleven penalties, 8 of them for Halifax. Fieldhouse. Hagan, he does well to hold on to that.
This is where Halifax usually run it blind with the forwards and then they stretch it with a link.
Bentley. Bentley trying to push Gary Lord out of the way. Smith.
Good defence there, they're well read. I knew the ball was coming out wide.
Parker to Hagan. Jackson wanted it. Jackson got it. Well, he played that lying on the floor. Parker dabs it through, and Gibson shuttles it dead.
Nice play from Parker. Little dink back on the inside. You've seen Derek Fox do that so many times. Wally Gibson taking safety first measure. He was in great position though, was Gibson, but nice vision from Wayne Parker.
There's Parker running the show. Remarkably in the Hull Kingston Rovers side, which won the second division title in 1990 and then lost the Premiership final to the men from Oldham. Topping drops out from underneath his own posts. Mark Perrott is underneath it. Back come Halifax again. Strangely, Oldham have a better record against Halifax here at Thrum Hall than they do at Watersheddings. It's 9-5 in the head-to-head, but here at Thrum Hall it's 3 wins apiece. Hagan to Hallis.
A little bit too flat there was the fullback Hallis. Would perhaps been better to have chimed in a little bit later.
Parker with a lovely ball to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse to Smith, and he deserved that. Richard Smith deserved that try, his second of the season. Got one against the Kangaroos. One appearance last season, that's all. He's been in for the last 5 now, and he crowns this display with a good try.
Great play, though, from the prop forward, John Fieldhouse. Squeezes the man in. You could see him twist the body. And well supported by the youngster Richard Smith. But notice how Fieldhouse comes in and twists in the body. Lord, that's beautiful stuff. Great pass, great finish. Big prop forward. Parker sends him through the gap. This is where he twists. Knows the support's going to be there. Well played. Nice pass from Parker into the gap. And that's what it's all about. Good English-style football at its best.
Richard Smith, I think he visits perhaps the same barber shop as John Fieldhouse too. Schuster with the conversion attempt then. It's another easy 2 points for Schuster, another easy 2 for Halifax. They lead now by 26 points to 8. 57 minutes gone then, and Oldham trailing now, and with it all to do in the last quarter or so of this match. But it looks at the moment as though Halifax's wonderful run is going to continue. Only the Australians have beaten this Halifax team since Steve Sims arrived from Leigh.
Well, Oldham was still in with a chance when they came out for the second half, and I'm afraid 3 silly mistakes early in the piece put themselves under a lot of pressure, allowed Halifax to regain the momentum that they'd had in that first stanza, and they really look as though they're Going to step up another gear, but that's a bad mistake. Neither of them wanted to know what that was there. They thought the dummy runner was coming through. That was the confusion.
Moriarty making the mistake on that occasion, so Oldham feed the scrum with Crompton, who finds Topping. And then the run was from Irwin, and he claims the ball was stolen from him, and the touch judge signalling fiercely on the far side. John Connolly was on the blind side of that.
Well, it was hard to see, wasn't it? The centre did have the ball taken away. Graham Hallis claiming that he'd just given him the ball, but there was just a little bit of a tug and a pull there from Graham Hallis. Thought he'd got away with it. Touch judge thought otherwise.
He was waving his arms like a windmill over there, and they're offside. Halifax, they have to stand back 10 yards. They didn't then, so here's a chance for Sherratt. Sherratt with a good drive. So close for Oldham.
Gee, that'd be a good tackle from Mark Perrott. Nice little move there. You saw the dummy half just leave the ball on the floor. The hooker stepped over it. You're allowed to do that.
Crompton, Topping, Kuwaiti, still going Kuwaiti, turns the ball back inside. It's going to be 6 to go, or is it?
Well, the ball from Kuwaiti did go to Halifax player. Well, what will he deem there? That seemed okay to me. Ball went backwards. Well, surely to an Oldham head and feed.
Doesn't look like it. I think he's ruled a knock on against Oldham.
He's made a mistake there, I'm afraid. Quite clearly that the Halifax player had played at that football. It should have been play on in my book.
It's Halifax who are in possession, though, courtesy of that scrum. Here's the instant again.
You can see there that Hagan actually called for the ball. That should have been play on. Badly done to, I'm afraid, Oldham on that occasion. That doesn't help their cause at 26-8.
The run from Moriarty. He held on to the football, but he lost his headgear. And there's a bit of an argy-bargy going on over on the far side.
Touch judge is on, trying to separate them. They're still pushing and shoving. The touch judge is in between them. Now there's more players going on while the ball is kicked downfield. Touch judge is on the sideline now.
I think Moriarty was a little concerned that the headgear had been ripped from his head, and he was debating the issue with John Clark. Anyway, now we're back to normal, and the ball is in the hands of Crompton. It's now with Darren Abram. Went backwards, says the referee. They got away with that, Oldham. Gibson makes good ground.
Well, Halifax may have a commanding lead, but they've got to start tackling. They can't just throw it away on this part.
Kuwaiti. He keeps trying, doesn't he, Mike Kuwaiti?
They really were caught flat-footed there, Halifax. The fullback Wally Gibson just raced away from 4 of them.
Flying swan act from Kuwaiti. Crompton. Kick goes up in the air. Moriarty claims it. Bravely too.
Did well there, but good work from the hooker, Roy Southernwood. Applied the pressure on Martin Crompton. That's why it wasn't a great kick. Things getting a little bit tasty out there. A few words being spoken, a few threats. Eyeball to eyeball.
Hagan grounded by his opposite number, Topping. Offside, Oldham. Charging up far too quickly on the far side.
Paul Topping. You can see clearly there that Topping had gone right out of the line. Oh, but enthusiastic. Just hasn't been Oldham's day, I'm afraid.
Referee just holding the clock up, then he's called Gary DeMorty and Martin Crompton to him. Steve-O mentioning the chatting and the threats that were going on out there. The referee saying, let's just calm it down. Let's get on with the game. Back on with the clock. Penalty to Halifax. Play restarts and Fieldhouse just lost his footing, but again, Oldham moving up far too quickly, all offside. Cheap yards for Halifax.
Crowd saying they won't back the 10. Connolly says, get on with it. Don't argue with me. I'm the ref. Bentley didn't see it that way.
David Jones has come on for Oldham in place of Nigel Heslop. With Jones, a winger, and having to defend with the Oldham side. This attack being led now by Schuster. He dabs the ball forward, across comes Gibson, and again Gibson content to simply shuttle the ball, touch and goal.
Super kick from the New Zealander, John Schuster. He had nowhere to go on the blind side. But the kick went straight through, and on the second occasion, Wally Gibson, safety first. Good thinking by the Kiwi. Nice play. They know they'll get the possession from the dropout, and they do.
Smith, try scorer for Halifax. Southernwood dummy half. Jackson. Well, Halifax well in control of this match, both in terms of scoreboard and possession.
Been a solid effort there from Halifax. Their forwards have worked well. They've worked hard. And when the link's on, Hagan and Parker have controlled things. Now then, what about a planned move from Halifax?
Here's Fieldhouse. Again he twists, finds Southernwood. Here's Jackson. The defence stands firm for Oldham so far, but for how long? This is the last tackle. Southernwood dabs it through. Oh, Gibson got down to it, one-handed, palmed the ball out.
Unusual. You can see he deliberately punched the ball forward in a knock-on position. That's why the scrum will be formed. Now, a deliberate knock forward can be classified as ungentlemanly and can be given a penalty for. Got away with it on that occasion.
They might not get away with it here because the ball's come to Bentley. He had to wait before picking up, but he still has the strength, does he? Almost. Good defence.
David Jones coming in there to help matters. The weight of Jones just getting him across. Of course, with the scoreline at 26-8, Bentley can take the option of going for the corner. It's been a lot tighter, and I'm sure he would have taken the safety first and gone back on the inside. That's the possession.
That's the statistic for the final quarter, and Oldham have conceded far too many in the last 20 minutes for their comfort. 37% of the tries that they have conceded have come in this period of the match. Moriarty, meanwhile, with a wink to someone in the crowd, goes off, and Grant Anderson comes onto the field.
Good round of applause for the Welsh international, Moriarty. Had a good fish to the prop forward today. Done a lot of hard work. And Anderson into the thick of things straight away. Just a little bit of a push and a shove. Kuwaiti didn't like it, and he swung one at him. Well, right in front of the nose of John Connolly. The referee couldn't have been any closer. Kuwaiti not happy with the situation. Well, he's just come on. Will he soon get off? Just a little punch it was. It's not a big one, and you can see the look of venom in Kuwaiti's eyes. He knew that as soon as we were going to play this ball, that's the elbow, tit for tat. Now then, Anderson's just come on. Will he just go off? That's a little one.
But it's a penalty to Halifax. Kuwaiti responding at the play of the ball to all that, right in front of the nose, as Steve-O says, of referee John Connolly. There it was. He brought his both fists across, didn't he, and gave Grant Anderson a bit of a facial.
How many times the retaliator gives away the penalty. He feels badly done by. Either way, tempers can cool down as they attempt for this extra 2 points. Really is in top form, isn't he? John Schuster. Radar boots. 5 from 6 already today.
And 2 tries as well. So that's 18 of the 26 points Halifax have scored belong to the former All Black, John Schuster. And notice the scoreboard attendant has already got the score out, because he fully expects that Schuster will kick this goal, and his optimism has proved well-founded. 28-8. Schuster having a field day in terms of scoring points. Mistake from Hagan, but he had to be brave then with the flying boot of Abram.
Awkward bounce, put his body on the line there. Abram's boot coming flying through. Thankfully it missed him. It was good thinking by Oldham, whilst Halifax were sauntering back for the kickoff. They got on with the game quickly. Well, it's just getting out of hand a little bit now. A bit of a payback situation. Darren Abraham. There you can see the elbow over the face of Bentley. No facials allowed, especially on Sundays. There's the elbow right across. Not the best kick either.
No, they've not found touch. Instead they found Wally Gibson. That's a mistake from Halifax. Here's David Jones. Gibson still there in support. This now from Milo. Well, can Oldham make Halifax pay for that mistake, as Kuwaiti's gone off to be replaced again by Timu?
Interesting about that tackle by Darren Abram when he had his elbow on the face of Ben. Oh, it's on again. Well,
yeah.
It's been simmering, hasn't it?
Jackson went in and caught Timu, and Timu didn't like it. And Timu's only just returned to the field, and he's being dragged away.
Well, the touch says he's gone down. They don't mess around these days, do they? The many flag wavers. Well, it was getting out of hand, wasn't it? A lot of eyeballing, a lot of squaring up. The big fella, Jason Timu.
He caught one, certainly, from Michael Jackson, no doubt. There it is.
Yep. And he went right back at him.
I think to say he lost his rag is the understatement of the day.
Well, it was boiling, wasn't it?
Referee started to lose this. Starting to lose control in the last 10 minutes. It's a match that was just petering along with no problems.
Well, we can do with that now. You can see Jason Timu using the scratches, and you'll see on Jackson's face after this, the blood on Jackson's face. And there you see the touch judge. He caught one. He caught a beauty. The elbow.
Timu's in the bin, and I think Mr. Jackson will be following him.
We'll take a look at Jackson's face. Well, I didn't think he'd expect anything else.
So Timu in the sin bin, and Jackson also shown the yellow card. And so unless we get a lot of stoppage time in this match, we've seen the last of those two.
Little doubt there's an attempted gouging there. You see the blood on Jackson's eye. Well, let's hope that calms things down.
Yeah, good play that by John Connolly, because as I said, he looked as though he'd lost control momentarily, but the yellow card should hopefully now calm things down for the last 8 minutes. Maybe not. There's an eyeball to eyeball now between Sherritt and Fieldhouse.
And they're still talking to each other. Touch judge on, and now he slips down again.
He's gone twice, the touch judge, in the last 2 minutes. He can't keep his feet, the touch judge. Bentley can.
Well, he's probably still groggy. He caught a real good elbow. It's tough out there.
Fieldhouse. Still going strong, Fieldhouse, and eventually dumped to the floor. Here's Parker, and now Hagan. And he passed it straight into the arms of Crompton. And good funneling back by Parker.
Didn't he do well there, Martin Crompton? Juggled the ball, intercepted. Oh, players are coming in a little bit late as well. But look at Crompton there, well juggled, well taken. There's a few still out there looking for a square up.
Clark to Crompton. The runner was Irwin. Good tackling by Perrott. Crompton, here's Sherratt. Now Topping. Cuts inside, Perrott. Lovely run. Parker's after him. Parker missed him. Fieldhouse, it's the centre. Richard Smith, I said. Fieldhouse and Smith go to the same barber. This is Crompton. Off the fingertips of Smith.
Nice kick through, well read there by the young centre, Richard Smith.
Nowhere for Preston to go.
Injured in the back play as well is Smith, the centre. He's receiving treatment.
Hagan to Schuster. Schuster bursts through the cover and gets through Gibson. He gives it to Bentley, who's got more pace than him, and Bentley's going to get home under the posts. Oh, terrific try. From one end of the field to the other in the matter of 5 or 6 seconds, and the smile on the face of John Bentley says it all.
Top quality play from Michael Hagan. Superb ball there. You can see how he just sucked in the defence. Schuster set sail. Unselfish play though from Schuster. See how he looks around. Knows that the speedster Bentley is there. Just turned the body. Well read by Bentley. He came inside at the right moment and was rewarded with a try. But Michael Hagan, once again, the man who schemed things. See how he pulled in the defence. Half gap, beautiful step inside, but this is great timing. You can see how Bentley timed his run inside to perfection. Excellent stuff.
John Bentley to Great Britain caps. His last one against France only last March. Under Malcolm Reilly, of course, but I'm sure he is very much in the mind of Ellery Hanley, as indeed every player in the big league should be after yesterday's result at Old Trafford. Schuster from bang in front. Extra 2 for Schuster. 34 points Halifax, 8 Oldham, and Halifax's wonderful recent run is maintained with a vengeance.
That was a scintillating try from Halifax. A team brimful of confidence now when you attack from within your own quarter. But it was a superb pass from Michael Hagan.
4 minutes to go, Hallis setting sail.
Been a highlight of the Halifax play today is that they have not been frightened to throw the ball around within their own quarter. It is a gamble. But when you've got class out wide like Schuster, Smith, Preston and Bentley, and of course Graham Hallis made a beautiful break in the first half from his own quarter as well.
Yes, they look a good all-round side, and in John Schuster they have a point-scoring machine at the moment. 22 of his club's 34 points has gone his way this afternoon. 2 tries and 7 successful goal kicks.
Yes, their coach Steve Sims will be quite happy with this performance. Been very tradesmanlike. They've gone around their business, shared the workload. The kick and chase game has been another superb factor as well.
That was a collision.
Impact there. Oh, did he go pretty high? Well, the elbow went up, didn't it, from Grant Anderson? And there's the man who caught it. Now Gibson picks it up. Anderson comes through, and crunch time. That was the elbow. Not seen by the officials. Perhaps they thought it was an accident. They're both turning.
Penalty, Oldham. Bang in front of their own sticks. Running it with Irwin. Smith gets the ball inside to Jones, and he was brought down immediately by Devorty.
Covered well there, did the loose forward, Devorty. Anticipated the pass on the inside.
Well, bear in mind that this Halifax victory has been achieved without the services of Carl Harrison, the Great Britain prop forward, who was battered and bruised, not only his pride but also his body after yesterday's affair at Old Trafford, and so he is missing today. But Oldham trying to end on a high note. Crompton's kick forward is being chased by Jones, chased by Preston, and Preston wins that race.
Good run though. Nice little kick through. Beautiful kick. But Preston far too strong. A bit too quick for that boy. Nursing the scars of the battle. There's been a few out there.
Fieldhouse with the ice pack on the temple. Alice with the dropout from under his own posts. Gibson fully recovered from that crack that he got a few moments ago. For Milo appeared to apply the brakes then, and perhaps he found a touch of black ice because he went skating forward, didn't he? Topping. Inside the last minute, plus anything that might be added by the timekeepers. Crompton, and here's the substitute Norman Clark. Powerful run from Clark, taking Oldham to within 5 metres.
Full credit to Oldham, they really have not thrown the towel in. They're trying their damnedest.
Long pass, Abram allows it to bounce.
See that solid defence. They've worked hard as this Halifax side.
Little clash of heads there. Hagan and Abram. Hagan not too impressed by it. Oh, well picked up by Ranson. The pass was behind him almost from Crompton, and here we go again. Well, it's what, the third or fourth time that all the players have been piling in, and the old touch judge, he likes to get involved, doesn't he, this little fella? On he comes, and he tries to separate them.
I'll tell you what, I don't know why they do that. It's rather foolish. He caught an elbow earlier. Well, he thought he was going for a spear tackle. He didn't like it. Bentley had another second attack. And they all went into it. Now then, I don't like to see officials go in like that.
One of these days, someone's going to get chinned, isn't there? There's going to be an almighty incident.
He got one. He got an elbow earlier in the piece. I'm not so sure that I'd be rushing in. It was obviously deemed that it was Bentley who was through the first punch.
For Milo then, and Oldham now trying to end on a high note. Deep in stoppage time. They're on the attack though. Topping, it was a knock-on. Topping is convinced it went behind him, but John Connolly does not agree. That's been Oldham's problem, Steve-O. At vital times, in vital areas, they've made the fatal error.
Well, they were only 6 points adrift when they started this second half. All the encouragement, everything that was said to them by their coach Andy Goodwell, half-time, went out of the window.
Hallis just caught his own heels then. The entire length of the field was ahead of him, and it was unguarded. Anderson. Eventually it was Sherrod who got it down. Here's Devorty. Parker. Hagan. Schuster. Oh, gets the ball away to Smith, and Smith gets through the tacklers, feeds it out wide. Preston just couldn't hang on to it.
Nice sinking run though from the young to Richard Smith. The long ball out wide. Preston was tight rather than wide out on the wing. Fingertips couldn't drag it back in. It's been a bruising encounter. There's been some classic tries on show today. Both sides have scored some beauties.
And this is a great run that Halifax are putting together. And I know that in this part of the world they really do love their big league, and they should be flooding back into Thrum Hall to have a look at this side, because there's grit and determination, and there's plenty of flair out there as well. And there's another victory. It's 7 in a row now, and John Schuster, tremendous display from him. 7 goals, 2 tries. Can't get much better than that. The game's leading point scorer, Mark Preston, who won't forget his wonderful effort in the first half. And John Bentley too on the score sheet for Halifax. They have run in 5 tries here this afternoon. Bentley, he wasn't to be denied, was over under the sticks. It was a great run by Schuster that set him up. Halifax 34-8.